So you can see here I have filled up the background with the pattern Keeko, just the way I showed you, horizontal lines and vertical lines, right? I am now going to be adding a little rounding as I showed to you in all these intersections, right? Basically round the corners where the lines are intersecting, something like this, right? Adding a little ink at the intersection points and rounding the corner, right? Adding the ink in such a manner that you round the corner, right? So all these places where the lines are meeting, intersecting, I'm going to be adding this rounding, right? Just adding some ink at all these places, right? Add this little character, and then when we shade it, the third dimension, right? So going to do this exercise throughout my tile for all the Keekos, right? Like this. Right? Going to be doing like this throughout the tile. So I have added a little rounding to all the individual Keekos here, right? Just added some ink at the intersections, at the corners, and given a round shape, right, to all the Keekos. Now let us take it a step further. The space which is left inside here, I am going to be inking it, right? Inking adds drama to your tile. So I just feel like inking the inside space, right? So I am going to just carefully, not affecting my mukas, going to ink the inner space, right? You can take up a broader nib, an 08 or a pen. Just that the space is a bit delicate here, so I thought of using the same pen, right? So inking the space inside, bold ink portions add drama to your tile. We have seen it many times now, right? Just inking the area which is left, then closed inside my muka, right? And then we are going to be shading our tile. The next thing, I already showed you how do we shade a Keeko, generally on the square grid, because it is kind of looks like it has been drawn in a square grid, so we shade it on those lines only, right? But in this tile, let us shade it a bit differently. So I have inked the inside portion, right? And now let us shade our tile. So I'm going to be leaving a small line to the side, right side, and this side, right side, and up. In every Keeko, I am just leaving a small gap to the right and on the upper side, right, and adding shading to the rest of the portion, right, like this. So I'm going to shade my Keeko like this, right? Not going to cover the entire Keeko. Left some portion white to the right and on the upper side. Right? So this is how I'm going to be shading my Keeko. All of them. Right? So I have added all the Keekos in the same fashion, right? Just left a small gap at the top and on the right side and shaded the remaining portion, right? Added some graphite. Now let us add some graphite to our beautiful mukas and the flux. Some graphite on the pods, right? Just a touch. Just going to blend with a very light hand. Need not even put graphite. The graphite on your pencil I think would be enough to shade such small spaces. You don't need to even touch graphite, right? So now a little shading on the poke leaves. I think I left this one. Yeah. Just adding a little graphite on the tips. You can shade it in many ways. I'm just adding some at the end of the stems. Right, I'm just blending it. Right, some graphite at the ends. So we are almost done with our shading also. Right. If you wish, you can re-emphasize by adding little graphite on the edges, right? I'm adding some graphite in L shape on the edges, right? In L shape at the places where I have done rounding, just adding a little more graphite. Right. So now that we have shaded our mukas, let's add a little mystery to our tile, and we have almost completed, right? So I'm picking up my jelly roll and then adding some small and some big dots inside. This is entirely up to you. May not do it, just leave it black, looks good anyways, right? Just adding a few small and big dots inside to give that mystical feeling, right? So that's the tangle pattern Keeko. I'm now going to initial my tile, right, and sign and date it. So take a moment to appreciate your tile, and we'll meet again with another Zentangle original pattern. Till then, have a good time. Bye-bye.